So welcome everyone, this is Motormaniacs. I am Akshay, and here today we have something that's the most, in the recent times, the most critically acclaimed bike that we have from Royal Enfield, which is the Interceptor 650. And I'm sure much has been said about this bike already, but we decided to revisit the Interceptor 650 and its traits, and from a owner's perspective. So coming on to the bike, this is a very special bit of kit. This is a dawn of a new Royal Enfield, completely different design, completely different thinking. The engineering behind this is completely different. So the overall concept has been taken from the 1960s, the original Royal Enfield Interceptor, and that bike came about, and that the concept of that bike is deep rooted in, believe it or not, the American pop culture from the 60s. At that time, the freedom movement was going on. Then there was the beach culture, and people were looking for a new sort of transport that they can enjoy their freedom with, and that is where the American market wanted something that was more powerful. So regularly in the UK they were bringing out products like the 350 and the 500cc, and there was a huge demand in America for a bigger engine. So that's when they introduced the Interceptor in America, and something similar has happened in India. We were waiting for a twin cylinder Royal Enfield for forever. Maybe like a decade or so that people were waiting, and that is attributing to the rise of the riding culture, plus the financial freedom that people have now. So that's was the perfect time for this baby to come out, and been designed immaculately. This is a period correct styling, plus of course the best part is that it's been developed in the UK, the original home of Royal Enfield in their UK tech center, by ex-Triumph engineers. So this again is something very special, and we wanted to revisit it because it has enjoyed a great deal of success recently, not only in India but also in the UK, where it is selling in the bucket loads. So guys, I would like to introduce Prateek, who is the owner of this baby, and let's see what he has to say about this bike. Hi Prateek, how are you?
I am fine.
That is a cool color as well.
Thanks.
That's a cool baby. So what was your inspiration on getting this bike in the first place?
See, already owning a CI engine as well as UC engine past, I needed something very, I would say from them it's very powerful on that perspective, because that's, if I talk about the numbers, that was 20 bhp, this is 47 bhp.
Yes.
And I needed something easy on the pocket ride. So this was the only best bet. The time that it was introduced for a very, I would say, lucrative price tag.
Yes.
And when I bought this bike, it was still under 3 lakhs ex-showroom when I bought it. Now it's obviously 3 lakh plus ex-showroom. So I just wanted a bike with the right amount of power, the timeless design, the timeless looks that basically lets us revisit the 60s and 70s that you clearly said in the beginning. And as you already mentioned, that this was basically an incubation by the Royal Enfield Tech Center as well as the engineers from ex-Triumph.
Yes.
So it was a beautiful product they incubated.
You were waiting for a twin cylinder Royal Enfield, isn't it?
Not me. Lakhs of people were waiting for
Yes,
that, right? Not
yes,
only me.
no doubt
This
about it.
bike, yes, it's just got the right amount of power and oodles of torque, which is decent enough for Indian roads. And ABS and braking system is good. It's the braking is by Vibre, which is basically by Brembo.
Yeah.
It's an Indian version of Vibre.
It's a sister company of Brembo.
Correct, Brembos. So exactly. So that's
So it's
what
top
had,
spec components.
obviously the highest quality ever maintained, or I would say given by Royal Enfield
Right.
in the recent years. So that's
Then
the
coming together to all the top spec components, how do they come together
okay.
in the riding experience?
Obviously, when you, if I believe you also own a UC engine, when you ride that bike, you still hear some sounds, right? The vibrations. But once you ride this, the vibrations are gone. You won't be hearing that tick tick sound or any other sound apart from the symphony that the twin cylinder.
Is what they say is the
offers.
good vibrations.
Exactly. Not the vibration. I would say the firing order is 270 degrees. So
Yeah.
yes, that's a very beautiful. That's a music to your ears when you ride
Yeah.
it in the open road.
But you have done a lot to it, I can see. I mean, a lot of touring accessories, a lot of touring spec.
Correct. If I would have shown you my old Bullets picture, Classic 350, which I also use for touring. I also did some touring mods. So yes, this this has been catered with all the touring necessary accessories. Not overdone, but the things I require and what I felt, because I have already done many tours on it. I went to Bararacha Pass, Chancel Pass, the highest peaks. So one of the highest peaks in India,
Yep.
and so I require those touring accessories.
So now we are going to delve into the finer details of the ownership experience. So, Prateek, I mean, you have your bike for the past 2 years. What's your experience been with the service center and the service cost?
See, I would say it's been great, right? If you talk about my service cost for past 2 years, I have visited my service center twice for a proper service, right? First service was done thrice, I would say. First service was done when the bike got the oil change and everything after 1,000 kilometers. That's a mandate.
Yep.
Post that, after 10,000 kilometers, and then 20,000 kilometers has been done, right? All in all, these were basically free services, so labor was not charged from me. So this all costed me around 3,300 every time. So I believe spending 3,300 in a year and 10,000 kilometers is not a big deal for a bike of this stature, right? We are riding a 650cc twin, that's it.
Yep.
And you're spending just 3,300, 2,500 a year for a service cost, which includes everything. Like if I include the labor as well, it won't be costing more than 4,000 rupees at any cost. So
That's very good for a 650.
Correct.
I mean,
exactly.
comparing it to the other 650s that are available in the market, I mean, you end up paying at least 7 to 8,000 rupees. I mean, I can imagine, because I know this for a fact, that Kawasaki is charging around 8,500 for the 650, and to have it serviced for that low is very good. And how's your experience been with the service center? Have you
It
seen a
was-
change? I mean, compared to the
yes.
UC era?
Yes, the mechanics are very well informed, right?
Yep.
Now, if I see, they don't change the thing unnecessarily. They'll tell you like what exactly needs to be changed in the bike if it's required at all. Right? You don't pay excessive now. Everything is being monitored, and once your service is done, you also get a feedback call, which also gives the rating to the dealers, right? So they are basically more customer focused right now. Obviously, dealer has to earn, right? The dealer earns from a service cost, a service center only. But now they are becoming more customer centric, or I would say focused, because of the rising competition.
Yeah, I mean, I do know this, that we never used to get a call from the service guys after the service about your experience.
Correct.
And I mean, this is a sea change. I mean, I do feel that Royal Enfield is now following an international standard in terms of their service, in terms of their development,
And in terms of their quality as well. If you
and,
ride
and,
a
and their
650,
quality as well.
the recent 650 launch, it's very like my 650, the switch gear on my 650 are bought from Himalayan.
Yeah.
But now if you check the 652 twins that are coming, or all three 650s, the switch gear are of top-notch quality. The new J platform series engine, the same switch gear has been used in that, which is aluminium switch gears, right?
Yeah.
So that's a high quality switch gear. But on the contrary, I would say, like I like to ride my bike a bit rough. I go to unexplored terrains, and like I said in the video when I was explaining my accessories, I had a fall on the bike also. So the accessories, or I would say the material on use on my bike, the gear levers are cheap than the gear levers that are being used right now, because they are not aluminium. They were the cheap ones, which are being used on Himalayan.
Yeah.
So parts wise also, it's not that expensive.
So you're getting
Now-
it at a reasonable cost.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now the thing that I'm waiting for is alloys. I know by slapping on the alloys on the interceptor would somehow take away the classic charm, but again that will add inconvenience to me, because having the interceptor 650 punctured and stranded on a unmanned road, I would say, or any place in the core of Himachal, it's a very tedious task. No one is ready to open the tires. So it's better I will slap on the alloys now that is being offered with alloys in the interceptor. I have already ordered them, and hopefully should get in a month or two.
Okay. So, I mean, what is that one thing that you feel is the best part of the Interceptor
That has to be the
650?
engine. It's a sweet engine, sweet. The revs built, and right, like I said, from 45, it easily picks up at sixth gear. You don't need to downshift the gear. From 45 kilometers per hour, it's very easy to pick up from the sixth gear as well. It chugs along. It's very easy to accelerate. You get ample amount of torque in the low gears.
I feel that Royal Enfield has done the right thing. They haven't tried to replicate the single in a twin. I was having a listen to Siddharth Lal about the development of the twins, and that's the same thing that he said. I mean, of course, of course, the singles have been the bread and butter of
I
Royal
believe your
Enfield.
wife was calling, right?
Yeah, whatever. Bikes comes first.
Hopefully she sees the video and then I'll ask you the same question.
Yes, yes. She knows. She knows.
Okay. Anyways, continue.
The singles have been the bread and butter of Royal Enfield. There's no doubt about that. But with the twin, they haven't tried to replicate the single in a twin. They have done what is right for a twin. I mean, if you look at the specs, and you see it's 4 valves per cylinder, single overhead cam, and the bore and stroke is right. I mean that what I saw, and that's why the bike is so smooth. A 270-degree crank gives it that V-twin sort of rumble. That's what they were. I feel it's a completely different.
And by this they have opened up to various markets also, right?
Yeah.
They got a chance to enter international markets because they're providing a product that is of international standard. And in India, you can see many superbike buyers are switching towards it because it's cheaper to maintain. It has a decent amount of speed on highway. It runs and it's very stable at high speed, triple digit speeds. Very stable. The braking is good. What else you require?
Yes.
At a very, I would say, affordable price tag in the big bike segment. Under
I-
3.5 lakh rupees, if I ask today, it's the best pet you can buy.
Yes, no doubt about it. And I
And
think
it's a,
they've
it's a
been
timeless
very,
design.
they've been very intelligent with these things,
Correct.
Ari. Because if you delve deeper into what they have done with the twins, uh, they have bought Harris Performance, which is one of the best chassis tuners and chassis developers, the racing chassis developers in UK for years, and they have bought the whole unit. And now Harris Performance is developing the chassis, and the chassis in the bike shines through. Come the highway touring, come off-roading, a bit of off-roading, or come high-speed corners. The chassis can do it all. What's your take on the
That's
stability
true.
and the chassis?
Chassis is great, stability is good. The only downside I felt is the shock absorbers.
Yes,
That's
that
the
has been said.
only
Yes, no
eyesore,
doubt.
not the eyesore, but that's the only sore point of this Interceptor 650, the twins.
I feel they had to cut corners somewhere.
But again, they should have at least give us as an option, like paying us extra money and providing us the adjustable forks, or I would say the shock absorber of better quality, because that would have complemented to the ride. The bike that is, the chassis that is, it deserves better shock absorbers any day.
No doubt about it. But I think there's a very interesting point here as well. I mean, uh, if you look at the aftermarket availability of parts and upgrades, you can get Olin's shocks for your Royal Enfield these days. I mean, it was unheard of, and I couldn't even imagine that a company like Olin's would develop something for Royal Enfield. And it is a testament to the sales that have been going on, that the aftermarket upgrading companies have seen that there's so many bikes that are coming out and people are interested in upgrading their bikes. There's so many accessories which are available. You can upgrade your engine, you can upgrade your chassis, you can take some weight off the bike. It's what you want to do with your bike.
Exactly.
I think that is what Prateek has done, because he
Exactly.
being a touring guy and he likes
Exactly.
to tour on his bike. He has
But
customized
at
his
least
bikes.
I would expect like the shockers, when like we nowadays, when you buy Royal Enfield Experience, you get to customize it
Yes,
from the
no
factory
doubt,
itself.
no doubt
So
about
we
it.
should have that option of customizing the front forks or shockers from the OEM itself. That would be an
Yes.
easy advantage.
I think they're learning.
Exactly.
They've been listening to the customers, and like
Correct.
Prateek was saying, that they've come up with the alloys. I think they are learning that of course you have to listen to your customer, and to make the sale you have to listen to your customer, and
So,
that is what never happened with Royal Enfield. They never used to listen to their customers, and I think this is a sea change.
exactly. So what I would conclude on this, that it's one of the best like Royal Enfields I've ever ridden. Smooth, reliable, just the right amount of power that is required. Like it says, in the end, with great power comes great responsibility. So,
Short and sweet.
thank you,
That's
Akshay,
what
for
it is.
having me. So we'll go ahead and help you out with like more reviews about the bikes.
Yeah, we'll
So
be coming up with a lot of stuff, especially not only on bikes but cars as well. So thanks for tuning in, guys.
do
Do
subscribe.
subscribe and like.